Hello people, this is Mark from KharisChangeWorks. Guys, hope that you're well. Simon, what is weight loss about, has asked me to do a video on moaning or complaining. Now right at the beginning I'm going to ask you, if you are interested in losing weight or fitness, that kind of thing, go check him out. What is weight loss about? A lot of good information there. Back to the video. Have you noticed that when people are not particularly happy about a particular product or a service or whatever, that they moan and they complain, and in many ways they make their wishes known, their voices heard? Now the question is, of course, why do we as people moan and complain, maybe as frequently as we do, and maybe why don't we complain as frequently as we should? So, good question. Now the thing is, we all have the capability of moaning. Some people enjoy the process of moaning. Other people run away from it as much as they possibly can. So I've got maybe 5 or so ideas of why we moan. And then of course I'll be talking about the other effect of moaning and why we don't moan and what we can do about moaning, etc. in future videos. So here we go. Why do we moan? And I would suggest that some people just enjoy it. They just like moaning. Maybe it's the thrill of getting something for nothing. Maybe it is getting that upper hand in the argument in terms of I'm not happy, and they moan and moan and moan and moan and complain till the other side gives in. Maybe for that particular reason there's some kind of reward that follows moaning. I heard of a woman in England who moaned that much that she actually got dubbed the country's most prolific moaner. This is maybe a couple or 3 years or so ago now. And when they interviewed this particular woman, she stated quite blatantly that the reason why she moans as much is because she gets a lot of free things as a result of her constant complaining. So for her, probably it could be the challenge of, how do I complain about whatever and get something for free? Maybe that is her motivation. Makes me wonder why she got to that point. I don't know. Let's look at a couple of other things. That life's not fair. If anything, life is certainly very unfair. We don't always get what we want, and oftentimes we get what we don't want. In there is a lesson that we need to learn as far as gratitude is concerned, and becoming content with who we are and where we are, what we have and don't have, these kind of things. Contentment. I've made a video on that, by the way. But when we think about the idea of life's not fair, the thing is, that's human nature, not necessarily life. I think life is fair. But human nature, and when we interact on a social level, depending on what kind of relationship we are talking about, you will always find one person will butt against the other. There will always be a clash of personalities at some point, making it seem as if life is unfair. But when you sit and think about it, it's actually human nature and man's selfishness, greed, and these kind of things that makes it unfair. Because we all play this game called life, we kind of shorten everything out and we delete our own responsibilities, our own accountability in this thing called life. And we just say life's unfair, as if we don't have a role to play within it. But life maybe is unfair. You look at religion, you look at politics, you look at sport. Everybody's trying to cheat somewhere along the line in order to gain the upper hand, making it unfair. It is one of those things. Another point is maybe the complainer, the moaner. Maybe they are just genuinely unhappy, just genuinely dissatisfied. You get these kind of people. They're the ones that when you interact with them, it feels like they are energy suckers. They kind of just extract everything that's good and positive out of you and then moan about it because they themselves might not have your energy, your enthusiasm, your whatever they suck out of you. These energy vampires are everywhere. You just have to listen to what people are talking about and how they go about talking about these things. And you will quickly realize when you socially eavesdrop on said conversations that there are a lot of unhappy people. And when they compare their unhappiness to other people's supposed happiness, which might be a front, by the way, we don't know, they will have multiple reasons to complain. Maybe life's unfair. So you can draw your own conclusions in terms of what we can do about our unhappiness. There's a video about that's going to come out pretty soon. So life's unfair and people are genuinely unhappy. Consider the following. Number 3. Some people are just plain and simply jealous. They've got something that I don't, so I'm going to moan about it. There's an old saying that goes, keeping up with the Joneses. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they've got. Maybe they've got something that I don't necessarily want. I'm quite happy with where I'm at. But when we strive for something that is maybe even unobtainable, but because of this inner drive to become better, maybe we can moan about our poverty, our ill health, our lack of material things, our lack of friends and family. When you sit and ponder, there might be a lot of people who fall into this complaining category in life because they are jealous. Spoke about this comparison thing, how we compare one to the other. And maybe this is an element of that particular video. Just because I'm jealous over something, someone, does it give me the right to moan about it? Maybe you find solace in yourself by feeling justified about the fact that you've got something off your chest. Maybe. What rules do you have in terms of your jealousy when it comes down to when you can moan and complain and verbalize your unhappiness? Is it unfair? Are you just unhappy? Consider the last one I want to talk about on this particular video, and it is there's some people who are simply void of empathy. Now, what is empathy? Empathy, in my eyes, is working from the as if position, as if I am unhappy, sad, lonely, ecstatic for that matter. Doesn't matter. So if I can work from the as if position and I have empathy, then it's easy to understand why there are people who are sad and depressed and lonely and angry. And you can go from one extreme to the other extreme on the emotional scale. But because you have a reference point, or you have the ability to put yourself in other people's shoes, and you understand, not necessarily hear the words, but you understand that the circumstances that these folks are in is not so good, maybe, then it's easy not to moan, not to complain. And maybe you complain because you yourself have got no emotional reference point, no empathy reference point. Wishing maybe that you were like other people who could do it. Maybe it could be that life's unfair. Maybe you're just jealous. Maybe you're just unhappy. Maybe other people haven't got things quite the same as you, or you quite the same as them, therefore giving you a justified reason to complain and moan and have your voice heard. But here's the thing, my friend, everybody moans. And what I found to be more destructive than anything else is not necessarily the words I moan to or about others. It is the moaning and complaining about my own performance, my own behavior. And when I moan about me and to me, when I have that internal dialogue going over and over and over in my head, I find that to be more destructive. It's a hindrance. So really what I'm trying to say in this particular video also is this. Pay attention to how you speak about yourself, and pay attention to what words and what tonality you use when you speak to yourself, because that eventually might lead you to be a moaner, or equally the same, you might not moan and be a little bit more understanding. I know a lot of people who are void of emotional pleasures, shall we say, and the only emotions that they can exert is anger and bitterness and hatred. What a sad and lonely life that is, when you can have happiness, joy and peace, fulfillment, satisfaction, all these other positive, helpful states. Maybe they moan because they haven't got that, and therefore they moan to make your life miserable. I know what I'm talking about here. So just be aware of what you say to yourself up in your mind. And maybe the reasons why you moan, maybe the reasons why others moan, could be part of these few little ideas that I've given you today. Sometimes there is reward, justifiably so, when we moan. Because sometimes we get cut up, we get snipped, as we say here in England, and it needs to be corrected one way or the other. So if you moan, you get your just deserves. It's an interesting one. It's which side of the coin do you stand? But to my mind, being aware is a very powerful position to be in. Because only then, once you're aware, I've said this many times before, awareness is the key to change. And if you've got people who moan and moan and moan, and you're sick and tired of it, and you moan and moan and moan, and you are sick and tired of it, when you become aware of that sick and tiredness, then you can change because of awareness. That's it, my friend. That's all I want to say in this particular video. People moan, sometimes more so than what is necessary, but they moan. I hope this particular video has helped you understand why people moan. the subsequent videos I'm going to be talking about what we can do about our moaning. So stay tuned. Please do all the YouTube admin, you know what to do. The share, the subscribe, tell all your friends and family. When you hit the bell, pick all, because then you get every single notification when we upload a video, which by the way is 8 o'clock UK time every day. Me and Laura, we appreciate that. But for now, this is Mark from KharisChangeWorks. I'll speak to you soon.